Well, hello everyone. Welcome to This Day. It is Friday, June 30th, last day of June. We're headed right into that 4th of July weekend, and it's going to be a nice one. We'll tell you the weather in just a second. On today's show, we're going to be talking about grief and what you should know about how to handle grief. And Becky LaMacca from O'Connor Mortuary is going to be here joining us for that. Also, Sports Corner with Cole Young, and then we'll check out Wellness in the Woods with Leslie Coretti. That should be a fun one today. Hey, stay informed. This is an important one. Make sure you know about this. If you have a handicap placard and you've had it for 6 years or older, it is going to expire today. Today is the last day that's good. Their new law came onto books, and you have to renew those every year now. It is not something that automatically renews anymore. Go to the DMV website to get more information about that. Well, like I said, let's take a look at that weather. It's a little bit cloudy this morning as we start the day, but that's going to be clearing, and that's going to be the pattern for the next number of days. We're going to have those AM clouds, and depending on how sunny, how the high pressure system kind of kicks in, we're going to see morning clouds linger a little bit, but they're going to peel back today. We're going to be in the 80s mostly for the rest of the week. High pressure really takes hold Sunday and Monday. We're going to barely see any coastal fog and coastal marine layer. We're going to have mostly sunny days on Monday and on Sunday and Monday. Then Tuesday, 4th of July, again, morning clouds, but we should have a great day for us. Sunrise, sunset, as we race into the holiday weekend, the 4th of July. These guys are ready to go. Sunrise this morning was 5:43. Sunset is 8:04 p.m. tonight, and then fireworks usually around 9 o'clock for everybody on Tuesday, right? So fireworks nice and dark out there. Hey, there are no meetings to tell you about, so when we come back, we're going to be talking about grief with O'Connor Mortuary and Becky LaMacca. Stay with us.
Hi there, we're Orange County Labs. Please call us today for your VIP concierge phlebotomist in-home lab collection appointment. We simply come to you in the safety and convenience of your very own home for any lab test. As a covered benefit at no cost to you, we will draw your blood for your physician with results the very next day. One call to Orange County Labs does it all. We look forward to seeing you all soon.
Life goes by quickly. Enjoy it while you can. At Southern California Family Dentistry, we help you live your best life. Dr. Jahangiri has been serving the community for over 15 years. His #1 priority is your comfort and care. We offer complimentary dental implant consultation. Our implants start at only $9.99. Check out our new patient special. We offer exams and x-rays for $49. We also perform implant-supported dentures and sleep dentistry, all under one roof. Transform your smile. Don't wait. Give us a call today.
Living and learning in Laguna Woods Village is a unique experience. For over 45 years, the Emeritus Institute has provided tuition-free college classes within your community. Join us to experience expert faculty, quality academics, and to make friends through the Emeritus Institute. New classes start every semester, and you can join nearly any time. Visit us anytime at saddleback.edu/emeritus. Learn, live, and thrive with the Emeritus Institute.
How do you comfort a family who's experienced a loss? At O'Connor Mortuary, we start by welcoming them into our space, where families of all faiths and cultures belong. We allow them the time to process their grief, providing guidance when it's needed and listening intently when it's not. We gather the values, the stories, the relationships, and the dreams together and use them to shape the memory of their loved one into a beautiful experience they'll cherish forever. When your family is in need of true comfort, call O'Connor Mortuary.
We're talking about a tough subject that some people kind of want to avoid, but it's really an important one for us to tackle. It's grief, and for Becky LaMacca is from O'Connor Mortuary, and she's going to talk to us about the experience that they've certainly learned over the years and what you've kind of gone through in terms of how you've dealt with folks who deal with grief. What is kind of maybe, let's jump right into it. What is one of the big misnomers about how we deal with grief?
Well, I think the biggest is that we grieve in stages, right?
Yeah, I've heard the multiple stages of grief, right?
Right. Dr. Elizabeth Kubler-Ross actually wrote a book back in the 60s on the stages of dying. And over time, it kind of transposed in these stages of grief. And that's why if you Google, that's the first thing that you see. And one of the things that we've realized probably over the past 40 years, and even Dr. Kubler-Ross herself saw this, is that grief is much more fluid. It's much more dynamic. We don't grieve, we don't feel anger and then go into the next stage, the next stage, the next stage. We feel all of these things. And if people who have experienced grief, they know this. You feel all sorts of emotions at all different times. And one of the reasons we don't like to talk about grieving in stages is because we don't want people to feel like they're doing it wrong.
Right, like there's like, I've checked that box, I'm done with this now I'm on to this one, right? And that's kind of a I'm, like you said, I'm doing it wrong, or is there a right way?
There isn't a right way. And I sure wish, you know, I wish we could grieve in stages, and those who are grieving wish we could grieve in stages, because wouldn't that be nice to check all the boxes and then be done with it?
Right.
And unfortunately, that's not what happens, and we grieve how we grieve.
Now, you also said one of these stages that we grieve with there's secondary losses that can even be more impactful. What do you mean by that? What is that about?
Well, a lot of times we think when we talk about grief, we think about a death loss. And there are many more losses associated with a death loss, or maybe not even a death loss, that people are experiencing. We grieve if we lose our driver's license. We grieve if we have mobility issues. Grieve having to move, maybe leaving our home and having to go into an assisted living. Grieving kids going off to college.
Empty
That's a
nesters,
big thing.
right?
Yeah. So,
okay, yeah. So when you're talking about, when you say grief, you know, we think of just a death in the family, or a death of a loved one close to us. But grief can really apply to a lot of things that we have to say goodbye to, or that have have sunsetted in our lives.
absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely.
And I do know that driver's license issue, or moving, can really be an impact for somebody. That mobility has been taken away from them. That access to the world has been taken away.
And that is a very real loss. I think when there has been a death loss, people are grieving that death loss, and simultaneously they're grieving some of these secondary losses. I now don't have any, my spouse who died did all of the meals, made all of the meals, took care of all of the bills. And now I have to figure out how to do this on my own. And there are days when you're grieving that secondary loss more than the death loss. And I always let people know, that's okay.
Yeah,
That's okay. Don't feel guilty
Yeah,
about it.
I was going to say, there's maybe a guilt in like I don't have anybody to cook me a meal. And well, wait, you lost your spouse. Shouldn't that be the focus? And you're like we said, there's no right way to do that.
Exactly,
Right.
exactly. And there are days that is going to be the primary focus in your primary grief, and giving yourself that grace to say, it's okay to feel this way today.
There are a mix of emotions that you can feel all at the same time, right? Is it a kind of a strange thing to maybe feel like one of the points you make, joy and grief at the same time?
Yes, and a lot of people, that's a really hard thing, because should I laugh? Should I find joy? My brother died several years ago, and when the holidays came around, my mom really struggled with, how can I celebrate and be happy and enjoy time with my grandkids and my family when my son has died? And she felt that she needed to stay in this mourning period and could not celebrate and could not acknowledge those happy things in her lives. And we talked through the fact that we can do both. Right. It's not an either or, it's a yes and.
You can't stay in that place. It's not a healthy thing, I would imagine, to stay in that place. My wife passed away, unfortunately, back in 2015. And I remember when we were going through the process of services and those things, we'd have a laugh every once in a while. Like, she would have hated that. We kind of like, what would Shannon have said here? What would she have done here? And we had a laugh, and it was a lift. It felt like a relief to just laugh for a minute.
Yes.
And that's kind of people have to, I guess, recognize that that's really okay to have that mix of emotions involved in it.
And it doesn't mean that you're still not grieving. It
Right.
means that you're beginning to take that person with you on your grief journey. You're bringing that person along with you in those moments of joy and gratitude.
One of the things, there's no right or wrong way, but there is one thing you should do. You have to go through the grief, right? You can't avoid grief. That's another one of your points, right? Don't run away from it. Don't try to go around it. You have to go through it.
You have to go through it. And it's messy. It's hard. I would never pretend that it's easy, yet what we see time and time and time again is we need to allow ourselves to experience these feelings. We need to go through it. Rather than shutting the door, throwing the covers over our head and pretending like it never happened. I tell people, lean toward people. Set your boundaries, do what you're comfortable with, yet we're also not meant to go it alone. So lean toward people, allow people to be there, not to help you, not to fix you, but simply to be present.
Well, when you're in that, I mean, like, I don't want to feel this way. I want to stop feeling this way. Isn't that one of the reactions from people? I just don't want to feel this right now.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. We don't want to feel this way. Yet we do feel this way. And interestingly, when we lean into it, we feel that dissipate a little bit sooner than when we choose to try to avoid it.
And that's one of the things I certainly learned about, I think, about grief for myself is it's not, oh, I'm over it, I'm through it. And my mother actually lost her mother in the teenage years, and she'll be 80 years old this year, and she says, I still miss her every day. So I think it's one of the things, you still carry that. It's never a day that goes by where you maybe don't feel that, or there's some part of it, but it's still with you, but it doesn't have the intensity or the heaviness as it started with, right?
And I feel that, you know, you know that better than I do, right? We're all masters of our own grief, but absolutely, we learn to enfold the loss into our lives. We never recover, we can't go backward, but we learn to move forward with this loss, bringing this person with us, even though they're not physically here with us. We continue that connection, and over time, those edges of grief soften a little bit, and it's more laughter, less tears.
Now, the last point that you wanted to make sure we understood is, although sometimes it may seem impossible, we can actually get through it, right? So at the beginning, it's like, I can't do this, but people get through this, right?
We do get through this, and statistically speaking, only about 7% of people throughout the world really get stuck in their grief.
And there's growth from it, too.
And there's growth from it. I mean, think about how many charities have been started in the U.S. that come out of grief. You know, the first one that comes to my mind is Mothers Against Drunk Driving, right?
Right.
That is an individual who took her devastating loss and her grief, and she grew, and she said, here's what I'm going to do. Here's how I'm going to honor my child. I'm going to take this grief, and I'm going to harness it, and I'm going to create good in the world.
Right. Things like Race for the Cure, Cancer Walks,
Yes.
Alzheimer's groups, and all sorts of things like that come from those people. I need to do something about this.
I need to do something. And even if you're not a person who, hey, I'm going to go start a foundation, I'm going to start a charity, we still grow through that, right? We still learn to incorporate it into our lives and move forward.
Right. That's an important thing to understand, that, like you said, we get through it. And you can grow from that, and you can take what you've learned from that and actually help other people when it comes that time to be that support person as well, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. And that's why support groups are so effective, even more than therapy most of the time. It's that, again, that community, and just having somebody else who can be there to listen, who doesn't understand your particular grief, but is walking their own journey.
Oh, well, thank you very much. Becky LaMacca from O'Connor Mortuary. That was a great conversation. It's an important one to have. Thanks for coming.
Thank you.
All right, still to come up next, we have Sports Corner with Cole Young, and then later in the program, Wellness in the Woods with Leslie Coretti. Stay with us.
The sun is finally out, July 4th is just a few days away, and summertime is in full swing. Welcome back to Sports Corner. I'm Cole Young, and the only downside is this is the slowest month in sports. I'll get right into some of the events that just passed, as well as a few to look forward to on the horizon. The Men's College World Series just wrapped up on Monday night, and it was an electric series. After an 18-4 victory over the Florida Gators in Game 3, the LSU Tigers have won their first World Series title since 2009 and their 7th title overall, giving them the second most in history. Game 1 was last Saturday, and LSU narrowly pulled off a 4-3 victory. This game went to the 11th inning, and a solo home run by Cade Beloso put the Tigers on top to close out Game 1. Game 2 went drastically different, as Florida scored the most runs in a game in College World Series history and took down LSU 24-4. LSU started strong and went up 3-1 and proceeded to give up 23 unanswered runs. The series sat tied at 1-1 and headed to Game 3 on Monday night. LSU was able to totally redeem themselves, setting their own record with 24 hits, now the most ever in a College World Series game. After LSU won their title, I'd like to mention that a few weeks ago I predicted LSU would win the Men's College World Series and Oklahoma would win the Women's. 2 for 2. Speaking of blowout games, last Saturday the Angels set some pretty ridiculous records when they defeated the Colorado Rockies by a whopping 25-1. This was the most runs and biggest margin of victory in franchise history, and with 28 hits, they surpassed the previous franchise record by 2. And their 24-point victory is tied for the third largest win margin in the past 123 years. Anaheim was up 2-0 to start the third inning when the offense exploded for 13 runs in 1 inning, including 3 home runs on 3 consecutive pitches. By the end of the 4th inning, it was 23-0, and the Angels would coast from there. In typical Angels fashion, however, they still lost the series to the Rockies 2-1. Regardless, the major blowout definitely did not hurt some Angels players' chances at making the All-Star game. Shohei Ohtani currently leads the American League in All-Star votes with just over 2.6 million votes. Teammate Mike Trout is in second place in terms of votes for outfielders. I can say with confidence both players will make this year's All-Star roster. In the National League, Dodgers teammates Freddie Freeman, Will Smith, JD Martinez, and Mookie Betts all look like they will be on the starting roster. Unfortunately, the Padres currently don't have any players in the lead of votes, but players like Manny Machado, Juan Soto, and Xander Bogaerts are still in the top 5. All of the All-Star festivities kick off next Friday, starting with the HBCU Classic. Then, on Monday the 10th, the Home Run Derby will take place, followed by the All-Star Game on Tuesday the 11th in Seattle, Washington. Over in the race world, the F1 season is still going strong, but as I said a few weeks ago, there's not much to tell. Max Verstappen has won 6 of the 8 races this season, and the other 2 were won by Red Bull teammate Sergio Perez. Here's a look at the team standings. Clearly, no one is going to come even close to Red Bull unless somehow another team manages to win every race from here on out, but that doesn't seem too likely. To top it off, this weekend is the Austrian Grand Prix, which happens to be the home course for Red Bull. If you want to tune into the race, it will start at 6 a.m. on Sunday. Hey, maybe someone new will be on top of the podium this time. There are still some golf and tennis and soccer and other events this weekend, plus regular season baseball. So, although it is the slow time of sports, you can still get your fix. I'm Cole Young. I hope you all have a great 4th of July, and I'll see you next time on Sports Corner.
Well, Wellness in the Woods is a place that is for people to grow and find their own pathway to health. And we want to welcome, she's got a little phone issue here going on. She's going to call somebody right back. But we're going to get to Leslie in just a second. Leslie Coretti from Wellness in the Woods.
Yes.
Is that phone call important? Do we have to take a commercial break?
No, I told him, I said, sorry, online.
Well, welcome to the program.
Yes.
You've been with Wellness in the Woods for about 9 years. What brought you to the program? Why are you with them? What's it all about?
Well, first of all, it's about your health, and it's about preventative health. So we don't claim to cure anything at all. What we do is we try to find all the information possible for people to actually take care of themselves. And as you know, or as we know, the body can heal itself. And so I'm always looking for ways to help people understand that.
And we have this amazing immune system that we don't fully understand. Even doctors don't fully understand how our skin heals. We fight off disease and bacteria and things like that. And so how we can maybe exacerbate that to its full extent is kind of maybe a good thing to explore, right?
Right. It is. It is one of the best things to explore, and not just medicine, but food.
Right. Superfoods, antioxidants, all sorts of things that people are discovering, like what ginger can do, blueberries, and
Turmeric.
yeah, turmeric, right? Yeah, and all of those things, right? So there's natural approaches
Yes.
that you can take,
Yes.
and that can maybe keep you off some
Yes.
medications, right?
Exactly. For one thing, like high blood pressure, have celery juice. It'll lower the blood pressure right away. So I mean, there's a lot of little teeny things that we have learned over time that are extremely useful.
Right, and there's these discoveries, and Oriental cures used to be this thing that people would throw out, but there are really, from all around the world, there are things that people have discovered that only Western medicine is only discovering now. We're really saying, hey, there's some credence to this. Acupuncture, I could think of, and other kind of like homeopathic things that have been out there.
In India, they developed laughter yoga, and it is now universal. And just the fact that people learn to laugh helps their immune system and relieves all types of stress, and that's incredible.
Right.
What about Qigong from the ancient? We just had a series last month on happiness.
Right. Well, the endorphins that can be released, just
Yeah.
in that physiological effect that laughter has on your body and
Yes.
your immune system is a real, very real thing.
Yes,
right?
yes.
And one of the happiness studies I remember that just came out recently, they were talking about is not work life, but it's the people in your life, the relationships you have that can help your health and longevity actually do that, right? So there's things we don't quite understand that we're learning all the time.
We're learning all the time.
Now, you have a great event coming up in July 14th, Dinner with Doctors. What's that all about?
Well, it was something that I developed, I'd say 7 or 8 years ago. This is our 8th annual event, actually. We get a group of doctors to come and have lunch with us. Of course, it takes a lot of calling to get available doctors, but this time we're having a new doctor that we've never had before who is a dentist.
Okay.
And all different preventative things we're going to be learning about our teeth. And of course, we have a podiatrist, a cardiologist, a neurologist, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera at this event. But the beauty of the event is the doctors actually sit at the tables and they eat with you. Every 15 minutes, the doctor moves to another table and you get a different doctor.
Okay. That sounds
So
fun.
it's kind of like speed dating.
Well, and dental health is a big thing. It's like it's a gateway. Bacteria comes in there and all those things. And they say dental health is one of the things you can do for preventative for other things in your life
Yes,
too.
it is. It is. Every single tooth is related to an organ.
So people can find out more about Dine with the Doctors July 14th on your website, on the club website at Village.
Well, we will have a flyer going out in the community today.
Oh, terrific.
And this flyer here has what we call a, what kind
QR
of?
code. That's a
QR
QR
code. We're learning about all these things. So with the QR code on the end of the flyer, okay, I'm just show you this. There's a little teeny box like this. And this little teeny box, you put your camera over it,
Right.
and you scan it, and it'll kind of turn yellow on the edge.
Right, and you click that, it'll go to the website.
And,
and you can
it'll go
register.
right to your reservation.
Oh, perfect. Okay.
And then you can pay your $20, and you're all set to go.
Okay.
So this is new technology, and we're all learning new things all the time. So we're trying it. Of course, if you can't manage that, you can always, on the flyer, it has my address. And you can, and some people do just run over and drop the envelope at my desk. I
Okay.
mean, at my office.
That's going to be at Clubhouse
My
7,
house.
July 14th for lunch, Dine with Doctors. That's going to be
Yes.
great. Real quick, we got about 30 seconds left.
Yes.
What else do you have going on in July?
In July, pelvic sanity. And that is going to be July 5th and July 19th. So before this event and after this event, we'll have 2 sessions on pelvic strong exercises and how to keep yourself healthier.
There we go. Keeping
Yeah.
healthy,
Keep it
doing
healthy.
things. Wellness in the woods sounds like a good idea to me.
Yeah.
Leslie Caretti, thank you for coming in. We appreciate it.
Oh, thank you for having me.
You're watching This Day on Village Television. When we come back, we'll take a look at the Friday night movie.
Achieve a level of comfort you've never known before. The Daydreamer will take you through smooth movements and guide you effortlessly into your favorite positions. Adjust the power pillow for ideal support for your head and neck. This and our positioning technology allows for infinite relaxation. Lay back in zero gravity while watching TV and put your body and mind at ease. Lift your spirits and find your favorite daydream. Contact your local Golden retailer today.
During the pandemic, thousands turned to AgeWell for help. Since March of last year, AgeWell has provided Orange County seniors with more than 40,000 grab-and-go lunches, 500,000 home-delivered meals, as well as transportation and case management services. We were there for you then, and we're here for you now. Stay strong. Stay well. Age well. Learn more about our services or how to get involved today at myagewell.org.
Hi, my name is Rhonda Plains. I'm from Fullerton, California. I absolutely love Dr. V. I am very happy to drive from Fullerton to Laguna Woods. I was having an issue with my vision. There was strobe light going off in my eye. Dr. Vias was able to get me in to see him the next day. Once I met him and he diagnosed the problem with my eye, I felt very comfortable with him, and I'm just really happy that I found him.
Well, welcome back to This Day. Let's take a look at the movie for Friday. It's going to be a good one, I hope. Collateral Beauty. I've never seen this one, so I couldn't tell you too much about it, but it's with Will Smith from 2016. I've heard it's great. I might have to check it out. It's brought to you by Harvard Eye Associates, and the 2 p.m. version is going to have the subtitles on there, and the 6 p.m. is going to have no subtitles. Let's check out the weather. It's going to be a great weekend, and as we head into July 4th, I think it's going to get even better. We still have the clouds hanging around this morning if you're watching the 9 a.m. version. By noon, though, I think it should be all clear and nice out there. The weather's going to be pretty good. We're going to have 80s for most of the week and the rest of the week into the weekend. And like I said, when we get to a Tuesday, it's going to be about the same, a little morning clouds at the beach, but if you're headed towards the beach, it's going to be a great day down there. Our sunniest, warmest, hottest days in terms of sun going to be Saturday and Sunday, and that high pressure is really going to feel it on Sunday and Monday, where we're going to have hardly any coastal clouds, mostly sunny for all of us around. So enjoy the weekend, enjoy your 4th of July. Hope you're going to be out there doing something fun. And tomorrow on This Day, we're going to have Loberg Dental Center on and an update about what's going on at Clubhouse 1 with their new recreation supervisor. So make sure to join us for that tomorrow on This Day. Thank you for watching. We appreciate that. For all of us here at Village Television, we hope you make this day a great one.
Hi there, I'm Bob Eubanks. Remember me? I'm the king of whoopee. And you're watching Village Television. But everybody does.